Hi everyone, thanks for joining me again. Today's card was made for my great nephew who turned 2 yesterday, I think. Now, while that makes me feel really old, um, he is the son of my oldest nephew. So he's an adorable little boy called Carson, and I thought I would make him a card with some hot air balloons and a little beer. So I'm using the Primary Colours Challenge from My Favourite Things Summer School, and I thought that a card for a little toddler would be perfect for primary colours. So I'm just stamping the images onto Express It cardstock using some black licorice hybrid ink, and I'm going to put that aside for a few minutes while I work on my cloud background. So this is the Up in the Air stamp set by My Favourite Things, and it's so cute. Oh no, hang on a minute. No, I'm going to do my sentiment while I have my Misty out. So I'm just prepping my black cardstock with some anti-static powder bag, and I'm just going to stamp a happy birthday sentiment in Versamark ink, and then later on I will cut that out with a slanted sentiment strip die. This is my Hero Arts Unicorn White embossing powder. So I'll just put that on and heat set that, and then I'll put that to one side as well. So that's the Misty done. Don't need that again this card. So flick off any stray specks, heat up that heat tool, and apologies for the reflection from my light. I actually had it moved so that it wasn't reflecting off my glass mat, but I think I must have bumped it and it's now back on that corner of my glass mat, so I need to get that out of the way again. So I'm just taking a panel of Nina Solar White 80 pound and the mini cloud edges stencil from My Favourite Things, and also I'm going to ink that with some tumbled glass distress ink, and nothing special about this, just go over the edges, flicking the stencil around each time. I don't want a lot of white space, so I'm doing the clouds quite close together. So once I've done all 4 sides, I'm actually going to flip it over, and then I'll get another 4 completely different looking cloud. So I'll finish that whole panel, even though I'm gonna die cut that off into an angled shape at the bottom, but I'll do the whole panel. And then before I finish, I actually very lightly, without re-inking my sponge, I actually very lightly go right over the whole thing again, just to tone down the white a little bit. So this is the part where I do them colouring, and I just want to say it's been 2 weeks since I've done any Copic colouring, and I am rusty. And as you'll see at the beginning here, I completely overworked the first part of the balloon. And you'll see from the back of the card how much ink I actually put on there, and tried to save it with a colourless blender. It came out all right in the end, but man, I do need to colour more frequently. And the other thing I'll apologise for is I zoomed in and cropped the filming so you could get a close-up of the colouring, and then you can't see the markers I'm using. So hopefully you can see from the end of the pen as I'm using it, but if you do have any issues, I will have a photo on my blog of all the colours I've used. So I'm going to leave you with some music now. I'll come back at the end when I put the card together. Thanks. Just one more thing before I put the music on is I am conscious that this is quite a long video, and I'm working on some feedback I got from one of my other videos about rushing through things. So if you don't want to watch the colouring, just feel free to skip through to near the end. But I'm going to try and concentrate on just one, one specific aspect of of the card going forward. So today I've done a little bit of the cloud stencil, but the majority of it is on the colouring. And as I said, I am no expert in colouring, but I actually enjoy watching people colour, so hopefully other people enjoy watching me colour. So anyway, that's why I have left the video quite long and not sped it up so much. I think I've done this in double time rather than 4 speed, which is what I normally do. So be interested in your feedback at the end. Thanks again, and I'll catch up with you later. Okay, so I'm back and I finished my colouring, and I'm just going to now die cut the images with the coordinating dies. And once that is done, I will start working on assembling my card. So the images have been die cut. I have got my cloud panel here, which I have die cut with one of the basic stitch edges dies into a pointed panel. And now I'm going to choose the die that matches or fits my sentiment. And these slanted sentiment strips, honestly, I think I've said it before, but they would have to be my most used dies. And I know you can cut these by hand, but I'm lazy, and so I use these all the time. So I just measured up how much gap I need on either side of the sentiment to fit with the card layout. Then I went away and die cut that. Now I'm going to put this cloud panel onto my white top folding card base using my ATG, and then I will add all the other elements of my card. So just adding that glue, lining that up with the top and left edges, sticking that on. Now the sentiment strip is going to be trimmed a little bit, so I've also got a little fleck of white embossing powder there, so I just took a black Copic multi-liner and just coloured over that, and you cannot see it anymore. And now I'm just positioning where I want my different elements to go on my card. So that's how it's going to look. So cute. So add some glue to the sentiment strip. Line that up, cut off the excess. And I'm going to use the larger balloon for placement before I adhere the small balloon down directly onto the card with some more ATG. So I'll just position that there. Now I'm going to put some foam tape onto the big balloon and the little bear so that that pops off the card. And I didn't quite get the foam tape on the little bear quite right, and he's not sticking too well. So at the very end, after I finished filming, I had to go back and sort him out so he didn't fall off the card. But all's good in the end, and I'm just putting that on now. And then to finish the card, I am just going to colour over the red of the small balloon and the blue of the big balloon with clear sparkle pen. Given that it's for a little boy, I didn't want to put too much in the way of glitter or embellishments on it, so I've kept it pretty simple. And that is my card. So thank you so much for popping in. I hope it wasn't too long for you, and I hope you'll come back next time. See you later.